Hey everybody. Okay, hopefully you can see me. I'm live. Welcome to Evening TV. I'm Evening Ransom and just do a little car vlog right now because I wanted to hop on here really quick and talk to you about some stuff going on with some interesting things I see going on with my comment section. I don't know if it's because Google placed my ads somewhere where they're not usually, placed my videos in front of a new audience or what, but it seems as though I've been getting a new audience of people that almost seem like they might be MGTOW people or something, because there's one particular video, which I've watched it and try to be really objective about it, and I don't see what's offensive about it at all. But it's a Father's Day video where I'm talking about my sons not having a role model in their family, how they've got, how they, my son Noah's song, Redefined is on it, where he's talking about that he didn't feel his dad taught him how to be a man. And so, that's not even me talking, that's my son talking. But anyway, a lot of comments came out about how a woman shouldn't have an opinion on a man, shouldn't have an opinion on what constitutes a man. Women shouldn't raise sons, that only a father should raise sons, a woman should stick to raising daughters. Just a lot of crazy comments like that. And I was really trying to, usually I don't allow comments that are like name calling or make it really clear that they didn't even watch the video. But in this case, I kind of let them go for a while anyway, because I thought something interesting was going on and I wanted to discuss it. Because it seemed like there were a lot of people, well actually there weren't even a lot of people, there were just a few people saying a lot of stuff, like a few people writing like many comments. But just really determined. It wasn't like it didn't seem like they were trying to understand or trying to come to some, win-win, or it just seemed like they wanted to win, like they just wanted to be right. It wasn't like they were trying to really get to the bottom of what I was, because a lot of things, one thing that really frustrates me is when, and if you're a narcissist in your life, you've definitely experienced this. When people argue with you and they're saying things that you're not even saying, like some of the comments would be like, why would you take that one incident and apply it to all men? Okay, and I didn't talk about one incident, and I didn't talk about any other men other than the men in my family. I talk about 3 men specifically, and I name them. And so, like that kind of thing. So I write in the comments, what one incident are you talking about? I'm not talking about any other men. So it's very interesting. It's like they had in their minds a argument that they wanted to have, or an argument they expected me to be making. They also assumed I was a single mother. So there were all these put downs about single mothers. And, so it was just like they had an argument in their mind, and they were just going to go ahead and project it onto me and apply it. And my issue with it is that I find it very discouraging, because in this fight we have with, low character people or narcissistic abuse, we're not going to get very far if we decide we're going to just pick on or have a problem with a whole other gender, which is what they were actually, they were acting defensive as though I was doing that, which I certainly wasn't. I mean, I love men. I love my husband. I have, 2 sons. I was like, I definitely am not a man-hating woman, and that was never the perspective on my videos ever. But the comments were definitely in that direction, and assuming that was what I was saying, assuming that I was against all, they were saying like, why would you apply that to all men? Why would you say negative things? I was never making blanket statements about all men or all things are negative at all, ever. And bless your hearts, a lot of people that do watch my channel more regularly, or even some new people, a lot of people were saying that they didn't understand what was going on, what was the upset. But what you notice is the ones that were saying that, ones that were saying, I don't see what's so upsetting about this, those people watched my video. The ones that were making comments like this clearly didn't really watch my video, because the comments really didn't apply to my video. It was like perhaps they read the title, maybe they listened to the very first words that I said, but they couldn't have watched the whole video and walked away with what they were saying. And then someone else said, they wrote in the comments, I looked through all your videos and you don't have any videos about narcissistic mothers. Why don't you talk about that? And I'm going, well, I don't think that's true, because I have way more videos about narcissistic mothers than narcissistic fathers. It just so happens that it's Father's Day, but I don't know why they would, they just want to assume I was just a man hater, I guess. And they wrote that, man hating bees like you. And usually I don't, like I said, I don't usually leave things in where there's name calling, and I usually won't if they're calling one of you guys names. Like if there's someone, like you write a comment and they write call you stupid, some name, I usually will delete it. But since this was, in this case, they were calling me names, I went ahead and left it in. But things like that, like just calling me, feminist bitch and things like that, like just, I don't know. And so there were as many comments from other people saying, I don't get it. And interestingly, there were a few comments from women who wanted to point out that they were women and that they totally agreed that all women are cunts and all women are narcissists and screw up men and screw up little boys and I just, first of all, we're in trouble when anyone is writing all, always, never, those things are just, they usually always mean there's going to be trouble. If you're going to say all women, all men, all narcissists, that usually doesn't end up being very true. And you're about to say something pretty ignorant sounding if you start that way. But anyway, so, and when I see women doing that, I think, where is that? Where are you coming from with that? What I think there is, I think, okay, maybe she had a narcissistic mother, and so she's decided to make a thing about that. And I can certainly see how you would end up hating your own gender if you had enough abuse, but that's, I don't know. I think that can't be very good for your self-respect if you're saying all women are, narcissistic bitches who shouldn't have no business raising sons, But yeah, so anyways, I went ahead and I don't usually do this, but there were so many of these comments that I went ahead and left them in, and I tried to explain for like a day, and then it was just clear that they didn't care what I had to say. It was clear that they just wanted to be right. And I know enough from my experience with narcissists. I know enough about, to give up if you're trying to explain something to people who don't want to listen to you or who are determined to just be right. Then don't waste your breath. That's a go nowhere conversation, which it seemed that this was. And I just, I just wanted to I made this point before in other videos, but for people who are really serious about this issue, and I think that was the thing. I think that maybe my videos got taken to some other genre of people that maybe don't know anything about narcissistic abuse and don't, but maybe their thing is more about maybe they have a thing about, they think all women hate men now, or all women are terrible people, or I don't know what, but that it wasn't a narcissistic abuse thing, maybe. Because I think that those of us who have experience with narcissistic abuse, and that's the issue in our lives, that's the issue that's really impacted our lives, we know enough to know that it's not broken down by a gender issue. It's not all men, all women. And we can't afford to look at it that way, because we need to have, we need each other. First of all, that doesn't work. Historically speaking, that doesn't ever work. We need each other. And at the end of the day, things that try and separate us don't work. They just don't pan out. So we need, there's strength with us together, and good people come in both genders and crappy people come in both genders, and we know that. So you know, it's just as simple as that. But I just kind of wanted to, you know, kind of talk to you a little bit about, you know, there's some kind of something going on with that. And it also, the interesting thing too is that I did 2 Father's Day videos in a row, and only the shortest one got this feedback. And also, it was not a new video. It was one I re-edited from last year. And last year, I didn't get any comments like this. So it was definitely something either going on in the culture of this year, or it was something that Google did with put it in a certain place, and a certain audience was seeing it. But I thought the feedback was really interesting. It didn't bother me that much because it wasn't really about my video. You know, it wasn't. There were no really poignant remarks that really struck me about my video or my point, or what I was really saying. It was more just conclusions that they were jumping to, you know, and sort of generic, you know, generic conclusions. You know, they would, you know, come to, you know, stereotypes. It was mostly a stereotype kind of conversation that they were having. It really had nothing to do with me or my video. And when they would talk about, you know, like somebody wrote, anyone with a penis would be offended by this video. And I'm like, my son had a penis and he's the one singing the song. He's the one, you know, most of the video is his song. So I'm like, you know, just things like that were just so interesting to me. So if you have a chance, check out some of the comments in there, and you know, just, you know, check it out. And for sure, you know, give me a thumbs up if you want to, if you see my point, so that you know, the analytics a little bit better, that's for sure. But anyway, also I want to let you know I am going to be going to Iceland. I'm leaving for Iceland in a couple of days. I've got some I've got some videos ready to, I've scheduled out for while I'm gone, but I will try and get you some cool stuff from Iceland. And so just wanted to let you know that. It's kind of an interesting time. This is always an interesting time of the year for me because my birthday's coming up and my son's angel anniversary is coming up. And so we usually try and take a family trip during that time. And so that's what we're doing. So I will keep you posted about the trip and about those occasions and things like that. Okay, you guys. I will talk with you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.